Today is Friday, January the 10th, 2020, and we've been sharing the miracles of Christ out of the Gospels. And what a faith builder they are when we get to hear what Jesus did and what Jesus is willing to do. And I pray today that same thing begin to stir in you a faith in God, the faithful God who's trustworthy, to whom nothing is impossible. So we're talking about the healing of a blind man at Bethsaida. Now, I know we talked about this earlier in the week, a different healing of two blind men, one of them Bartimaeus. This is found in Mark's Gospel, the 8th chapter, in verses 22 through 26. Then he came, he being Jesus, to Bethsaida, and they brought a blind man to him and begged him to touch him. So he took the blind man by the hand, led him out of the town, and when he had spit on his eyes and put his hands on him, he asked him if he saw anything. And he looked up and said, I see men like trees walking. Then Jesus put his hands on his eyes again and made him look up, and he was restored and saw everyone clearly. And he sent him away to his house, saying, neither go into the town, nor tell anyone in the town. In our devotions on Monday, we discussed the healing of blind Bartimaeus. Here we have another man who was led to Jesus, evidently by his friends. In this case, Jesus took the man out of town to heal him. And then Jesus does this. It doesn't seem to make much sense when he could just say the word, but he spits on his eyes. Now that would probably be offensive to a lot of people. And then he laid his hands on the man. And Jesus asked him if he saw anything. And he says, well, I see men like trees walking. Jesus put his hands on the man's eyes again and makes him look up. And his eyes are restored and he sees everyone clearly. It's just a powerful story. You may not have heard or seen our Monday devotional, but I need to say this clearly. Jesus can heal your eyes. You can see clearly, and your eyesight can be restored. He causes blind men and women and children to see. He still does this. Yes, he does. Maybe your eyesight is okay, but you have a friend, a colleague, a relative who's going blind or is blind. Do you believe that Jesus can restore their eyesight? Then would you go lay hands on them and trust God to restore that eyesight? Put aside any doubt about whether God can do this, and if God speaks to you to do it, just go do it. He may in fact simply want to use you to trust him to do the impossible. Just go in faith. Believe God. Trust him for a miracle to happen. Why not? Why not do this? See, I don't think we do this to test God. I think we do it because if you notice the words in this chapter 8 of Mark in these verses, that they begged Jesus to cause this man to see. I just think sometimes we get so hung up on the word faith, and if you just trust God, you can still beg him. Some would say, well, that you don't have to beg him. You have authority. Yes, you do have authority, but you know what? He has so much compassion, more than we'll ever understand. So why not? Why not pray for your friends or pray for someone you don't even know to be healed? Jesus, the very Son of God, the one and only Son of God, is able to do the impossible today. Why should we trust man and his methods before we trust the living God? Is it because when we go to a doctor, somebody who we put on a pedestal for sure, and they're just human beings, and it's just a practice they're in. It's just they keep practicing on people, and sometimes they get it right, and sometimes they don't. Hello? But how is it that we go to a doctor and this doctor gives us a report, and maybe the report isn't good, so we don't have any relief, but maybe just their words that they speak, it's like, oh, they know so much, and they've got so much stuff, and we feel so much relief just simply because they spoke to us about this. And I'm not putting down doctors, but I am challenging us. Why is it that we find a doctor's words more assuring to us than we find the words of God's one and only Son? I'm not attempting to accuse you or even myself. I'm simply wanting to point us to Jesus. Come on, can we just get a touch of the hem of his garment? He is able and willing to deliver us. He is the healer. He is the mender of broken bones. He's the one to cure us from cancer, from terminal diseases. He's the one to cause our blind eyes to see. He is trustworthy. Our God is able. I'm not telling you not to go to a doctor, but I'm suggesting we go to Jesus first. And listen, it says in James, call upon the elders of the church. It says in James, go to your church and call upon the elders, and the prayer of faith shall raise that person up. And he'll even be forgiven of his sins or her sins. Go to Jesus first. Sit a while at his feet. Read a little bit from his book where he talks to us. Believe in your heart and pray for a miracle. And then get someone else to agree with you. Wait on the Lord and get ready to receive because he's able. Oh God, I praise you today. I magnify and exalt your name. I glorify the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, who today is releasing his power to his people to minister the grace and mercy of God with truth to all around us. Bless the name of the Lord, the mighty name of the King of Kings. We glorify you today, and we're ready to serve you by being used of you to touch others for your glory. Thank you. Thank you for wanting to use us. Amen. You know what? You be blessed, and you just be a servant of God's today. Just go do what he says. In your obedience, you'll find God working. Have a great day.